Okay, the time is now 5:01 on June 17th, and it is time to call to order the Community Development Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Chairman Hayes,
Present.
Alderman Newsom,
Present.
Alderman Florian,
Present.
Alderman Donenworth,
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Thank you. The only item on tonight's agenda is item 2. It's a public hearing, so we will open the public hearing at 5:01.
Okay, that's me. Good evening, everyone. So I'm before you tonight to present for the program year 2024 annual action plan, also the CAPER for program year 2023, and then the amendment of reallocation for program year 2023 for the 2024 action plan. What I forwarded to you, I guess we can go over that first. That's the amendment to the program year 2023 action plan so that the funds can be carried over to the program year 2024 action plan. So that's how we did our allocation with funds that we're anticipated to receive from HUD, as well as the funds that we had remaining from the previous year. So we rolled that over and then we distributed the funds accordingly. So what you have before you, the total amendment ends up being $857,580 that we rolled over from the previous program year into the new program year. We are anticipated to get $736,025 from HUD for the 2024 program year. So with the total of that, we have $1,593,605 available to allocate for the program year 2024. And there before you in the list, we have what was amended, so I can briefly go over that. Habitat for Humanity, they did not spend all of their funding, so their remaining balance was carried over for the sidewalk program. We're currently working on that. It's $100,000 that we have that's going on right now. However, it's in the process, but we carried over to the new program year, and so that would make it a total amount available for program year 2024 would be $200,000 for the total program cost. The lead line replacement program, we had $124,330.65 left over, so we carried that over, and that's going to be distributed for various programs for the program year 2024. However, we did allocate $200,000 for that program for program year 2024. The beach accessibility project, I'm working with Lisa May with that. She did purchase some things, but for now we're going to carry that balance over into the program year 2024. The micro enterprise small business loan program, we had $58,193.35 carried over into the new program year. And for the overall program for that, we're going to allocate $150,000. In addition to that, we also had, of CARES Act money, we had $119,763.35 that was carried over, that'll be carried over into the new year. For the housing admin, we currently have $64,373.93. We're actually still using that funding to pay salaries until we get our new funding in. So that amount will be shrinking down. And then for the facade improvement program, we actually have a project going on right now. However, we're using that funding and we're allocating it into this year for a total cost of $250,000 for the facade program. And then on the last page, it was unallocated funding that was left over in the amount of $124,853.72. That was just carried over for various programs for the program year. So that's the total that we're going to use for our annual action plan for 2024. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I think I've asked this question before, but is there a limit to the amount you can carry over and for how long you can carry it over?
No, there isn't a limit to carry over. But overall, for say for particularly, we may have a line item for program year 2023. We have up to, I think it's a total of 8 years, I believe, that you have to spend funding. So if we got in 2023, we have to have it spent, we have 8 years.
Do you personally have a goal, like every year, to only carry over, say, 10% or 20% or whatever it is, so that you don't end, I mean, it sounds to me like in 8 or 10 years, you could end up with a pretty big pile of money if you're not spending it every year.
Yeah,
going-
but we normally spend down pretty good. I mean, every year, March 1 of every year, we're always tested for timeliness to make sure that we're spending down enough money. We always have a carryover, which is actually good for us. For example, we just got our letter from HUD on Friday. We just got our letter from HUD. However, our program year started May 1. So our agencies that we fund and the programs that we're doing, technically, we have $0. So we're not able to actually operate unless we had this carryover, we would be stopped. So for me, it's always kind of good to have a cushion to be able to carry over because we never get our money on time. So hopefully, we'll get our contracts from HUD, we're able to get those signed, get them back to them, and then they would actually fund the U.S. Treasury where we'll be able to set up our programs and get going. But for now, we don't have contracts. So technically, we're still running on the money that we have from program year 2023.
One more question. Is the opioid money going to come through you, or is that going to go through a different?
The what money?
Opioid crisis
Oh, no,
money?
not through me. Yeah, it would be another source.
Alderwoman Bolton.
Yes, we may have also discussed this before, but how much of this the monies are federal and how much are state?
I only get federal funds. CDBG is federal, and we get home funds as a part of the consortium. It's only federal.
Thank you.
I got a question for you. When you said you got the letter on Friday, was that the letter confirming the $736,000 that they were
Yes.
going to fund? Okay. And in terms of carryovers, is this, the carryovers that we're seeing here, is this pretty standard carryovers from program year to program year? Yeah, okay. The facade improvement program, is that anywhere in the city that those funds can be deployed?
For us, because the city has another facade program, we're just finishing up a facade program that we started some years ago. It's been a challenge getting it going, so we're actually only doing one facade. So that money that we're allocating is already basically allocated for an existing project. And that's only to do one facade.
So is that the 201,000? Or is it the 250,000? That's the whole amount for one facade?
Yes.
Wow. And
Yeah,
that's not a city-owned building, right? That's a privately owned building?
privately owned building.
Which building is it?
It's actually Delia's Daycare right there on Buck in Washington. They've started the facade. If you ride by, the sidewalk is closed. So yeah, and then we were doing it, and they took off the facade part, and they seen part of it they thought was, I can't even think. Oh, what am I thinking? They thought it was wood, but it actually ended up being stone at the top. So that kind of like, oh, here we go. So we kind of had to go back, so we're going to have to do some change orders, change some things up. So yeah, so we're working on that right now.
Okay. That's really helpful. Thanks. Last question I have for you is unallocated funding. What could those funds be used for?
It could be money that was just, so I look at it as a pot of money, and so we take it and we allocate to different sources of fund to specific projects. So it may have been that money was not allocated to a specific project, but it was available to us in our pot of money, as I call it, or our line of credit.
You could allocate it to some of the other line items that you have here.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Last question. Sorry.
Okay.
Micro enterprise small business loan program. What does that do exactly?
So we provide assistance for small businesses located in the city of Waukegan. It could be anywhere in the city as long as they have to, it's some qualifications. So the owner themselves will have to income qualify, and or the people that they employ would need to qualify. So they would need to fall within a certain amount. They could only make a certain amount of income to be able to qualify for that. We would only help for things like payroll for existence.
Did you do training by any chance? Like if they wanted to send their employees to be trained in a certain type of workforce training?
They could give an argument for that.
Yeah, okay.
They can give an argument for that, but overall, just for the running of the business. So if that was one of the items, it could be. And then of course, we have them fill out the application and explain why they should be able to get and then we follow up with, our whole thing is job creation and job retention. So that's our overall goal. So that's when they come to us to do that.
Okay, that's terrific. Thank you. And thanks for everything that you do. Are there any other questions? All right. The time is now 5:11. Do I need a voice vote to close out the meeting or?
That can be a voice vote. Does not have to be a roll call vote.
Okay. Can I get a first and a second in favor of closing the meeting?
So moved.
Okay. Thank you. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, the public hearing, item number 2 on the agenda is closed at 5:11 on June 17th. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, audience time, yes. We're packed. Is there anybody from the audience that would like to address anything that was on the agenda tonight? Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Okay, I got a first from Alderman Florian, second from Alderman Donaldworth, actually, to adjourn. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, 5:12. We're finished. Thank you.